So the UFC star boy Manel Kape put a whooping on Asu Almabayev. Might have fucked up his last name, but I'm just gonna call him Asu. But yeah, Manel whooped him. Back to back stoppages or TKO wins against Bruno Silva and Asu Almabayev for Manel Kape. He looked great. Some said it was an early stoppage, but Manel Kape was teeing off on dude. So when you got a fighter teeing off on you, you got to expect the ref to step in. You know, unless the guy is given some blatant sign that he's okay. I think Asu went for like a panic single leg, and then the ref stepped in. So you just got to do something like kind of blatantly, like you got to show that you're okay. Whether it's like you got to just raise a thumbs up to the ref or something. You got to show that you are still in the fight. But yeah, of course I agree with the TKO. Manel Kape was teeing off on Bro for a long time, and he had to step in. But again, it's just one of those things in the fight game. You got to show you're okay. You can't let a guy just fucking tee off on you for like the better half of a minute. Either way, this video is mainly, or it's going to be mainly focused on what happens now. Manel Kape had another stellar win after a stellar win he had before against Bruno Silva. The striking just looks next level, and it always kind of has. He's had great hands, the head movement, the defense, everything on the feet for Manel Kape is absolutely beautiful to watch, and just really effective against a lot of guys. Um, the main question is, will it be effective against Alexandre Pantoja? So obviously, Alexandre Pantoja is fighting Kaikar France next. I disagree with this. I wanted the UFC to wait until the winner of this fight, because the winner, it presents the perfect opportunity to then make Manel Kape versus Kaikar France for a title shot against Alexandre Pantoja. There's already a lot of bad blood between Kaikar France and Manel Kape. This would have been the perfect time to let that bad blood boil and just become a volcanic eruption when you make this fight happen. The buildup would have been amazing, and the fight itself would have been amazing. I'm sure somebody would have went out. There's so many variables in that fight, and again, with the added bad blood, it makes it a must-watch event. But the UFC decided to give Kaikar France the title shot ahead of time, so here we are. Manel Kape is obviously next in line, so Kaikar France is going to get his chance next against Pantoja. If Pantoja beats Kaikar, Manel Kape is up next to challenge for the title. So, yeah, I wish I could have seen that fight between Manel Kape and Kaikar France a bit earlier, but who knows? Maybe it'll still happen at some point in the future. But yeah, Manel Kape is next in line. So how does a fight between him and Pantoja look? Manel Kape even got an opportunity after his fight to break down Pantoja, because I think Kamaru Usman set up like a FaceTime on the show between Manel Kape and Pantoja, and Manel Kape was asked to break down Pantoja and just give a couple weaknesses that Pantoja has. And Manel Kape brought up an interesting point. He said that Pantoja pretty much moves forward too much, and that he's going to work on counter punching, and he's got heavy hands, and he's got all these knockouts. It's an interesting point, and it's a observation that is good. Pantoja does walk forward. Pantoja's entire career, his whole fighting style, relies on one thing I've been preaching again and again. It's his chin. Pantoja's entire fight game existence relies on his chin. Pantoja relies on eating punches, moving forward, and laying on his opponents. However, in his last fight against Kaya Sakura, his striking looked good. His striking had improved. He was actually landing back at a good rate against Kaya Sakura. So the striking is also improving. But Pantoja's main road to success, or his main strategy to success, is to eat punches, march forward, and lay on top of his opponent, and just kind of grapple with him, get some really good ground control time in there as well. So I think the same thing could absolutely happen to Manel Kape. It just depends on whether Manel Kape can crack Pantoja's chin. It's the same question for Kai France. When I talked about how a fight between Kai France and Pantoja would go, relies on how many punches Pantoja can eat. Because Kai France is one of them, last hopes in terms of like figuring out how dominant Pantoja is. Because like I said, Pantoja's entire career relies on his chin. So Kai France is that kind of last hope to see if Pantoja's chin can ever be cracked. And Kai France is the best test for that because Kai France has Ngannou level power at his weight class. So, this is a great final test to see just how strong the chin of Pantoja is. I'm willing to bet that Pantoja will be able to eat those punches. Or I don't really remember who I went with. There's still a lot of variables because, again, of how much power Kai France has. For now, I'm going to stick with Pantoja. I'm a Pantoja fan, but I'm looking at this, I'm trying to look at this from an objective point of view here. And when I look at it objectively, again, there's a good chance Pantoja is able to do the same shit, which is move forward and lay on top of his opponent. If Kai France is not able to crack the chin of Pantoja, guess what Pantoja is going to do? Move forward and lay on top of Kai France. If Manel Kape is not able to knock Pantoja out, Pantoja is going to do the same shit. I think what makes the Manel Kape Pantoja fight interesting is that Manel Kape has got this level of striking where he could technically win the fight if he's able to, like, even if he's not able to knock out Pantoja, he could still technically win the fight if he's able to piece up Pantoja and land as many punches on Pantoja before Pantoja is able to get close enough to lay on top of him. And I think Manel Kape has the best chance to do that out of pretty much all the boxers at flyweight. I don't think Moreno could do that, And Moreno's got great boxing. I don't think Kai Kara can do that because Kai Kara, output-wise, I don't really like Kai Kara's chances in this fight. And, Kai Kara kind of more so utilizes those really heavy, powerful overhands and hooks and, the looping punches that are extremely powerful and have the ability to knock out just about everybody. The main question is, will they be able to knock out Alexandre Pantoja? But again, I made a video on Kai France in that fight, so I'm trying to stay mainly on Manel Kape and Pantoja. So let's say Pantoja is able to do the same shit to Kai France that he's been doing to everybody at flyweight. Then obviously Manel Kape is up next. And like I said, Manel Kape has the potential. Like he can try and piece up Pantoja and just kind of land as many punches as possible before Pantoja is able to get close enough. And that could give him the fight if it goes to a decision. It just depends on what the judges value, whether they value output or takedowns or ground game. It's a whole clusterfuck in terms of judging. So Manel Kape, I'm sure this fight goes to a decision. Unless, by some miracle, Pantoja's chin cracks. But again, I'm leaning on the fact that it doesn't. So if it doesn't, it goes to a decision, and it's kind of up to the judges, It also kind of depends on whether or not Pantoja's striking further improves. Because like I said, Pantoja's striking improved since he fought since he fought Kai Sakura. When he fought Kai Sakura, his striking showed improve. He had better striking. So let's say Pantoja's coming into this fight with even better striking. It makes a lot of people ask a lot more questions. But overall, if I had to give you guys an outcome for Manel Kape versus Pantoja, I'm going to go with Pantoja. I'm a Pantoja fan. But again, from an extremely objective point of view, I think Pantoja is going to be able to do what he's been doing. Eat punches, march forward, lay on his opponent. I'm trying to think of the guy that Mokaev. When Manel Kape fought Mokaev, the grappling, he's got great grappling. What was he able to do? Essentially out-grapple Manel Kape. Although it was boring, that's what he did. Manel Kape showed that he does struggle against high-level grapplers. I would consider Pantoja a high-level grappler. Now, I know you could immediately come at me with the fact that Asu Albamayev is also a high-level grappler, and Manel Kape was able to just destroy him. So I get that. But with that being said, against them real high-level grapplers that just, nonstop want to get to the ground, Manel Kape can struggle. I'm going to go with Pantoja. I don't think Manel Kape will be able to crack the chin of Pantoja. Of course, there's a chance that Manel Kape outpunches Pantoja, and if the judges value output and clean punches more so than ground control time and takedowns, they'll give it to They'll give it to Manel Kape. It depends on what the judges value, and it depends on how good Pantoja is going to be when this fight comes around. Because I know how good Manel Kape is going to be. It depends on how good Pantoja is. How relentless he is with the striking, how relentless he is with takedowns, and whether or not he's able to do the same shit to Manel Kape that he's been doing to everybody. And I'm willing to bet he will. I'm willing to bet he does. And I'm willing to bet that Pantoja dominates Manel Kape ground game wise, maybe even striking wise, but more so ground game wise, and wins this fight via unanimous decision or split decision. But I'll go unanimous decision. But overall, you let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next. Do not forget to put notifications on. I love you guys. See y'all next.